All right. Welcome to the FA40 podcast. I'm your host, Josh Proch, and today's episode, we got three different topics that we're going to talk to you about today. So going over just some different things from kind of some things that we see, kind of how we look at some things, and just kind of some questions that we see come up or issues that people have coming up. So a couple things here to help you guys out with. But before we get into that, we do have, I just want to remind you guys, we do have a 6-week trial that if you are not currently a member, but you've been thinking about giving us a try, or you have a friend that comes here and you've heard them talk about us and you want to come give it a try, we do have a 6-week trial. It's $2.99, and if you're interested in that, you can learn more about it on our website, which is pittsburghnorthfitness.com. There's actually a link to it, and you can fill out a form there and book a time to come in and get set up. So getting into it today. So the first thing here we're going to talk about is just investing in your fitness. And this is something, I've talked about this before. I think I've written a little bit about it in some posts and things like that. But I kind of look at fitness the same way I look at investing for retirement. And it's one of those things that you don't always want to do it, and you don't always see the return right away from it. But it's just something that needs to be done regularly and consistently. And if you do it consistently enough and regularly enough, you get to reap those rewards later in life. But if it's kind of like sporadic, or it's when time, when you have the time and things like that, that's kind of the same as like, well, I have some extra money this month, let me throw that into my retirement and then not do anything for the next couple months and things like that. It just, you don't get the same outcome at the end, and you don't get that compounding interest from it. And that's really what it is with your health and fitness, is just having that regular investment of getting a couple workouts in each week, making sure, the foods that you're eating and what you're putting into your body is good quality stuff the majority of the time and everything like that. And, that's going to add up. Do that year after year. Not only when you're getting started, your body, not only are you going to see your body change, you're going to see that your body stays healthier. You're going to look around at, maybe some of, your friends, family, peers, whatever, that are the same age as you, and but aren't doing that, and you're going to look a lot different and a lot healthier, and not have a lot of the preventable issues that they may be dealing with as they get older. And that's the goal of fitness overall, is keeping yourself healthy and preventing as many health issues and injuries and things like that as possible, and keeping our lifestyle active and being able to do the things we want to do, staying independent as we get older, and being able to get around, get up and down off the floor, play with our grandkids, all that sort of stuff. And that's achieved by making regular deposits into that fitness bank account of of your workouts, the food you put in, and all of that stuff. And sure, there's going to be periods where, a couple weeks you might miss because you get sick, or you're traveling, or, something comes up with that you're dealing with, like a sick family member or something like that. There's going to be little periods like that. But again, that's why we're banking, so that we can draw off of that account when those things happen. And then, we look at trying to get that back in there as soon as possible as well, by just getting back into our routines and everything there. So that's why I always say it's just like investing for retirement. You're just investing into your life, into your health, and the future health that you're going to have down the road. And that's why we work out. So the second topic for today is realistic weight loss. So this is something that we see come up quite a bit when we're looking at or when we're talking with new people and things like that. Is a lot. I mean, some people are realistic about their goals. Others they don't have necessarily realistic goals, and it's not really their fault. They kind of have been led astray by the media and a lot of the fads that are out there and things like that. So they think that, hey, I can drop 25 pounds in a month, or 10 pounds in a week, and all of that and stuff like that. And the truth is, that's just not realistic. Maybe, yeah, there are some ways that you can do that. Maybe the downside of those is, if you do, it's going to be extreme. It's not going to last once you stop doing that. Whatever program that you're doing that's getting you there isn't going to be attainable. And you're going to do some long-term metabolic damage onto your body. And that can have some bad ramifications down the road. So, right now we're seeing it's very popular. It's kind of like this medical weight loss stuff that they're having people eat 500 calories, take drops, and maybe some sort of supplement along with it, and not have any activity with it. And unfortunately, yes, you're going to lose weight. But it won't stay off. It'll come back. You're probably going to gain more. And then you've created a lot of metabolic damage onto your body. And now we have to undo some of that. So when I talk about metabolic damage, what that is we have our body, is called a basal metabolic rate. And this is the minimum number of calories that's required to keep our bodies alive. So that means if we laid in bed all day or didn't move, our body's still going to burn a certain number of calories. For most people, this number is somewhere between 1,200 and like 1,700 calories. Again, muscle mass, body size, all that stuff kind of plays into that. But most people, when we look at their metabolic rate, which we get off of the InBody, they're coming in between 1,200 and 1,700 calories. So when you're eating less than your metabolic rate, what happens is your body will regulate, and it'll pull or slow your metabolism down below that number, or to match that number. So let's just use 1,200 calories as our example. Say that's our BMR, or basal metabolic rate there. And you start eating, I'm just gonna pick on the 500 calorie diet here. So you're eating 500 calories. Well, now you're 700 calories per day under what your body actually needs. So your body's got to find a way to survive. And the way for it to do that is by slowing the metabolism down to match that 500 calories. So now we've taken a healthy metabolism and we've slowed it down to an unhealthy rate. So what happens when we stop that diet, which isn't sustainable, eventually the energy levels tank and we need more food. We start eating again normal, or go back to, hopefully not back to old habits of, junk food and things like that maybe we were doing. But we go back to just eating normal, healthy diet, and maybe, it's 1,600 calories is what we need, supposedly what we would need for our energy outputs. But because we've slowed that metabolism down so much, now all that excess gets stored as fat. And that is how people, when they do these yo-yo diets, they gain all the weight back and then some. And it's because of this slowing of the metabolism. And you might be asking, like, well, if the metabolism adjusts down to the calories, won't it adjust back up? And the answer is yes and no. I mean, it's going to make some adjustments. What happens, though, is it adjusts much quicker going down. Where coming up, it doesn't like to come up. Once it's slow, it's good. It wants to kind of stay slow. And it will slowly come up, but not fast enough to prevent that weight gain. So this is where people that have done that, we have to do, or Tammy does when she works with them, what's called reverse dieting, where she slowly works on bringing their calories back up to get them up to where they have a healthy metabolic rate, get them at a healthy calorie intake. So back to the question here of what is realistic weight loss and what's really healthy weight loss is, for most people, it's going to be about 1 pound a week. The range is anywhere from, realistically, anywhere from 1/4 pound all the way up to 2 pounds. when you start getting more than 2 pounds, like if you're starting to get 5 pounds a week or 10 pounds a week or something like that, you're really, you're starting to get into some dangerous territory where the potential to do some metabolic damage is pretty high there. So again, a lot of people are like, oh, only a pound a week, or, I want to lose it faster or whatever. And I tell people, like, look at it this way. If you lose a pound a week and you do that for a year, you're going to be down 52 pounds. And again, that's if you have 52 pounds to lose. That's a big change. And the good news is you did it without creating any metabolic damage, without slowing the metabolism. Your chances of regaining that weight are much slimmer. You've learned how to do it the right way, how to eat, how to exercise, how to have healthy habits, and you've changed your lifestyle all for the better. And you're a healthier person, and you did it the right way. And that reward, your body and yourself will be rewarded for that by, being able to maintain your new body weight and everything there. So again, just remember, if you see that it's going to be anything that shows you've going to have really fast weight loss, it's either misleading you with something, or not being completely truthful, or the way to get there is going to create a lot of metabolic damage. So, and we want to avoid that, and we want to keep our metabolism healthy there. And the last kind of tip here, this kind of will build along with that weight loss, and this is something that I've actually just started doing. I haven't been doing this it's been quite a while, but it's been eye-opening for me, and it helps me, is basically tracking food. I know everybody hates tracking food, but I have started doing that again for myself. This is, again, something that when Tammy's working with people, she has everybody track just so she can see what they're eating to make recommendations and stuff. But it's also for an awareness, and it just makes you a little bit more aware of what you're eating. It makes you think about, like, all right, I've had this today, I've had this, and everything. This is what I have left in my calorie allotment. Maybe I didn't get enough protein in, or I got too many carbs in, too much fat, whatever. But it creates an awareness, and that awareness is what will help lead to change. Because if you're not aware of something that's happening, or something that you're doing, you're not going to know that it needs changed, or that it's even a problem. And you might think like, hey, I'm eating really well, but maybe you're not. And until you have that journaled, that's you just don't, you really truly don't know. And I find for myself anyhow, just by having to journal it, I make better choices. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to pass up on, having those couple Oreos tonight after dinner, or things like that, because I just don't want to have to write it down, because I know, like, yeah, that wasn't something that was on my plan. So I like using, and Tammy recommends too, using MyFitnessPal. It's free. There is a paid version of it, but the free version works just as fine. And you don't even have to have anybody looking at it necessarily. I mean, that's something that we can do. That is a part of Tammy's nutrition coaching. But you even just doing it for yourself, as soon as you start tracking, as soon as you start holding yourself accountable by that, you're going to see some improvements, and you're probably going to see, if you're trying to lose some weight, you're probably going to see, some weight come down by doing that. If you're trying to add some muscle tissue, you're probably going to see that, you're adding some muscle, you're getting stronger in your workouts, things like that. So again, it's kind of a pain in the ass a little bit to have to, open up your computer or grab your phone every time you eat something and put it in there. But they have updated it over the years, everything too, that it does kind of store your foods in there. It's not quite as hard. The more you use it, the more that stuff's there, and you just kind of check some buttons and it puts it in for the day for you. So I definitely would recommend that, especially if you've been struggling, and it just helps get you back on track. And again, it's not something that you'll have to do forever. I don't plan on doing it myself forever. I'll probably do it here for a couple months, and then just get myself back into some better food habits, and then I'll kind of go off it, and use it again when I find that I'm sliding a little bit and I need to get back on track. And that's kind of how we recommend for people is track for a little bit, get yourself back on track, get yourself back honest, and then, stop tracking and just try to maintain those habits without having to do that extra work. Because we agree, like you shouldn't have to track your food for every day for your whole life. Like that's not really enjoyable, but it's more using it to help keep your habits there. And, when you find yourself sliding into some bad habits, getting you back on track there. So, well, that's our episode for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please share the show here. And, you can rate us and review us if you'd like to. That all helps, and we really appreciate that. So I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and rate and review us.